I just got done watching NXT. Hello to everybody that came in. Kayla, Tay, Youngboy J, Donnie, Pierre, Sasha, Zay, hello, Nika, and Hiram, and Tirza. Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing? Hello to my folks over here on Instagram. Hello. How are y'all doing? Listen, I had to record for um NXT. I still have to edit those videos and put them up for Instagram because I did record the last match. That was such a good match, but I don't like the fact that Roxanne won. Okay, I'm just gonna give it to you straight and tell you right now while we getting started that Roxanne shouldn't have won that match. Now I know what was going on. Okay, I know what's happening here. I know that Roxanne is more than likely gonna lose to Lyra at Vengeance Day, and this is to set Lyra up and give her some legitimacy to her championship. Same way it happened for various other people, but I'm gonna go on record and say I don't like it. I don't like it. Fuck ass Kiana was right there. You could have gave it to her. And if they give that title back to Roxanne, all hell gonna break loose. You hear me? I'm not gonna be happy about that. I'm not gonna be happy about that because it doesn't need to go that route. Okay. You got to start putting your trust into other people. Roxanne that had multiple opportunities, and I wish they would have pulled the trigger on fuck ass Kiana being a heel against Lyra Valkyria's baby face. Okay, but now it look like Roxanne about to be the heel, I guess, which is fine. But that was an excellent match between them all. And Kaylani had a great showing in that match. She looked good. She felt good. Everybody that was in it was good. Thea Hale was doing too much for me. I'm going to tell y'all right now. Baby Ultimate Warrior got to get her shit together. Okay? She was doing too much for me. She was doing too much. Okay? Fallon would have been a good challenger, in my opinion, as well. Now, there were some people who were missing from this match. They did not have Tiffany Stratton in this battle royal, which I was okay with because Tiffany didn't need another opportunity. I didn't like the fact that Lola was in the match because she has a ready-made opportunity already there. She did not need to be in the tournament to be able, or in this battle royal. I don't feel like she should have been in there. Now, the way that they use Lola and Elektra to get over their feud and break them apart was fine. I didn't have a problem with that. Okay. But let me pull up the actual match card. Because I believe I saved them. I thought I did. Here we go. I need some water, babe. Can you get the opportunity? You hear me? Water. Yes, please. Okay, so when I turned to NXT, the very first match of the night was the tag team match. Okay, it was Malik and Idris versus Trick and Carmelo, and oh my gosh, it was so good. The boys was out there showing out. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm glad that we had 4 black dudes fighting it out and to have an opportunity to go to Vengeance Day to get the tag team titles. And they really, really performed exceptionally well in this matchup. These 4 guys are great. Idris and Malik do not get the respect they deserve at NXT, in my opinion. And I really, really wish that they would find some kind of way to get them to pop off. They were able to do that with Trick and Carmelo, but they have a little bit more personality and a little bit more spunk to them. With Idris and Malik, it's going to take some true character work to build them up to being the superstars that they can be. They have the athleticism. They both have the look. They both have the drive, but they just need a little bit more character work in order to set them up to be either individual superstars or tag team greats. Okay. But for the most part, they showed their ass tonight. It was an excellent match between these four men, and ultimately, Trick and Carmelo Gang advanced. Now, as this match progressed, let me go over to Instagram for a little bit, see what they seeing. Okay. Y'all are a little bit behind me. All right. As the match progressed, I'll get to the women's battle royal in a second. As they got to the back and Ilya shows up, Ilya basically says, I was not cleared, and as a champion, I let you down. So I am going to make that up to you by letting you know that you and I will have a match at Vengeance Day. It's going to be you versus me for the NXT Men's Championship. So Trick was very happy, jumping around, excited, but Carmella was like, hold on. If you get this opportunity, what about us? He was like, what about us? He was like, fam, Vengeance Day is the culmination of the tag team tournament, the Dusty Cup. That's where the final lineup, the final match ends. So that kind of made Trick kind of pause a bit. Now, when the show progressed and it came back to Trick, he went to Carmelo and he apologized. He said, in my haste, I accepted it and didn't think about it. And that's on me. That's my fault. I should have thought about what he was saying to me and considered what we had to do as a group. Okay. So my apologies, man. I didn't mean to overstep or to make it seem like I was just going with the flow and wasn't including you in my thought process. But he said, listen, you and I both can make history. I'll be the first one to hold the titles, both titles, and you will be a Triple Crown champion and be finally hold the tag team titles. But I'll be the first man to hold the men's NXT championship and the tag team championship at the same damn time. Now, there's only one other man who's held two titles at the same time in NXT. And that man is none other than Keith Lee. He's the first, and currently, right now, he's the last. So, with all that being said, we're going to see how this play out. I don't see that happening. Quite frankly, I see Carmelo costing him the opportunity, especially if they lose in this tag team tournament, which leads me to believe that it's going to be Brian Breaker and his odd couple partner, Baron Corbin, going up against Trick and Carmelo in the finals. And Trick and Carmelo are going to lose against Braun and Baron Corbin. And that's when Carmelo's going to turn on Trick, possibly costing him the opportunity at the title or attacking him after he wins it. Either way, Trick and Carmelo's their path and trajectory is gonna end in violence between the two of them. We all can see it. You all know it. Okay. Now, Obafemi came out there to address the crowd, and everybody was treating him like, he was the king of Wakanda. They was giving him their best Umbaku responses. Okay. Every time he talked, the crowd would respond in their, it's out of jest and in respect, but you know how it is. Let me get some of these comments. Was Jada in the match? Well, yeah, she was in it. I'll get to that in a second. Hello, Eli. Let me look over here on Instagram, see what they talking about on Instagram. Carmelo will blow it up at some point. Oh God, I hate that they move this shit so fast. I cannot get it. The Mellow turn has been dragged out a little, but I'm with the overall story. Carlito Cannon says, of course, I like the Breaker Corbin pairing too. It's very much a ragtag, merry bunch of idiots, but we love it because it's funny and it's campy. Now, for those of you who are over here on Instagram, like I said yesterday, you guys can join us over here on YouTube. It's the same name on YouTube. Come on over here and it's easier. You can pretty much say whatever you want on in YouTube. It makes life a lot easier for you. You won't get flagged on YouTube. Just try to be respectful to everybody and to me on the show on YouTube, and everybody's happy. All right. I do have moderators over on YouTube, so just be mindful of that. But you can pretty much say whatever you want on YouTube within reason. Okay. The Nigerian King, pretty much. Now, Oba came out to address the crowd because he feels like he has finally gotten his crown and it was his destiny. He was backed by destiny, as he says, to be champion and to move forward. Now, of course, Dragon Lee came out to tell him, I'm not mad at you for getting opportunity. This is what you were supposed to do. This is how you're supposed to move in these streets. But he said, as a man of integrity, you should want to continue the legacy that I continue and Wesley's legacy. And Obafemi refused. He said, it's no longer your decision to decide how this title is defended. I am the one who is holding the gold, and you will get an opportunity if and when I say so. So I'll think about it. I'll consider it. But for now, and probably until I get rid of this title, the open challenge for the North American Championship is closed. And then he walked away. And Oba said, you're not getting nothing. You don't deserve nothing. You don't get nothing. Baby. I was like, okay. Oba said what he said. You got to listen. Over here on Instagram, Quest Hatchet said it's like Sheamus and Cesaro all over again. Yeah, you can say that. It's a cute little moment between them. I will give them that. You know what I'm saying? Any whoosies. So Oba walked away and Dragon Lee was left a little dumbfounded. Dragon Lee demanded a title shot at Vengeance Day, which, to be fair, he's the former champion. He has a right to earn or the right to be able to challenge Obafemi for that title at Vengeance Day. I don't understand why he went to Oba. I would have went to either Ava or Shawn Michaels to get my rematch for the title rather than going to Oba. But I get it. I guess he felt like Oba was going to uphold the integrity of his predecessors in this match. I mean, with this belt, but it looks like he's going to go Carmelo's route where this title's going to be coveted and you have to earn opportunities to come up against him, which is fair. You know, he doesn't have to be a workhorse type of champion. We've seen that time and time again. It's time to do something different with the North American Championship. Now, before him and Dragon Lee, there was, of course, Dominic Mysterio, and he wasn't he was more of a heel, slimy type of champion. Oba's going to be a defending champion, but it's going to be on his time and his dime. You feel me? Hello, Rico. Now, let's move on to the other part of the tournament. All right. So we had Chase U going up against the LWO. And quite frankly, this was a fun match as well. LWO put on a immaculate match against Chase U, and Chase U put up a good fight, but ultimately they could not best the two supreme luchadors of LWO, and they were the ones who advanced in this tournament heading to the semifinals. So now you have Nathan Frazier and Axiom versus Corbin and Breaker, and LWO is going up against Trick Mellow Gang. So these two matchups are pretty interesting. And I like the way that they did it because you have two high flyer teams in LWO and Frazier and Axiom. And then you have a heavy hitting, ground and pound big man team of Breaker and Corbin. And then you've got the combo team, which is everybody in that team in Carmelo and Trick Gang is like, they're both. They can do high flying. They can do traditional. They've got the technical. They've got all of it. So every team represents a particular section of wrestling, or they're all combo teams. And that's what makes this fun. This tournament has turned out to be something really special. There have been some made up teams in here, but for the most part, everybody has worked together pretty well to advance in this tournament. Looking at the semifinals, I like this. And I think that this match with Frazier, Axiom, Breaker, and Corbin is going to be really good next week. Now, LWO, Hayes, and Trick's match, I think that's also going to be really good, but we're going to have to wait and see how it all plays out. I don't know how everything is going to work in tandem, but I just have the sneaking suspicion that these matches are just going to be awesome. Okay, they're going to be amazing to watch. All right. Now, over there on YouTube, we've been live for about 15 minutes. So cuts off. I mean, on Instagram, sorry, it cuts off after an hour, but I'm gonna cut that feed a little bit more early. So if you guys want to join me over here on YouTube, you definitely can. YouTube makes it a lot easier for you guys to comment what you want and be cool. Make sure when you come over that you subscribe. Make sure you rate this video. It helps the algorithm as well. So I will see y'all over here on YouTube. Thank y'all for coming in and listening to me rant and rave. Y'all, I'm going to finish out NXT over on YouTube. If you want to know my YouTube name, it's the same as my Instagram name. So I'll see you guys next time. All right. Let's save that. Let's get into y'all comments over here. Hi, Nicole. Beyond the Bell podcast. Hello, how are you? Ola has a chance to be what Lashley was built up to be in the early 2000s. Sure, but Oba's going to have he's going to have a lot more personality than Bobby Lashley. So you're probably right about that. People at work pissed me off today, so I hope NXT was good. NXT was great, actually. Duke has to thank HBK for saving his career, putting him with Chase U. If I recall, he was with Chase U before Shawn Michaels got there. Am I wrong about that?
I can't remember, to be honest.
When Shawn Michaels took over NXT, he was already with Chase U, was he not? Because they made it look like he was like a slime ball coming in to try to, take over and shit. You know what I'm saying? All right. Part of me was like, pause to the Breaker Corbin segment, but the other part of me was like, Corbin, you're lucky that Breaker was thinking about you. Ew. Ew. Where the hell is the cruiserweight title? There is no cruiserweight title, babe. There is no cruiserweight title. Very, actually. Who? Duke? Yes, I was speaking of Duke. He's been with Chase U since he got there. Chase U with Duke became a thing after Bodie Hayward was let go. He was in there before HBK was. I thought he was because the blonde long haired dude, which is Bodie Hayward, I believe, is who Rico's referring to. He was there, and then he left, and then Duke started coming around Chase U, pretend like he was interested. He was almost slimy with it. Now he was still poker playing. Duke trying to weasel his way in. Once Bodie got let go is when the Hudson focus really started. But that's what I'm saying. He was already so I mean character change, I guess, but he was already on Chase U before Shawn got there. He just wasn't in there the way that he is now, if that makes sense. So I'm not saying that y'all are wrong. I'm trying to pinpoint when he got to be a part of Chase U. And by that point, it had been 2.0 for a minute. Right. Because didn't HBK take over when it became 2.0? No. HBK took over after it became 2.0. And then he changed it back to NXT and he got rid of all the colors. He put it back with NXT, but he left the orange and the gold and the yellow and the black. So basically what he did is he combined NXT 2.0 with NXT black and gold and recreated it into what we have now, which is their form of NXT. NXT has better matches than SmackDown and Raw. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, sure, whatever. In my opinion, they all have their good and bad matches depending on when you're watching it. NXT isn't perfect. Neither is Raw or SmackDown. They all have their flaws. So whatever makes you happy. Moving on from the tag team tournament. Let me see what this is because I can't see. Yeah, so the boys won and they're moving on. All right. So let me delete these so I can get them out of the way and I don't put them up by accident like I did that. Okay, I'm going to keep that. Get rid of Oba. We love Oba Femi in this house, okay? He's a gem, a saint. We love that. Now, the girls had a match today, okay? Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez went up against Lyra Valkyria and crazy ass Tatum. Now, I tell you what right now, they put on a pretty solid match here with these four girls. These four women put on a good match together, all right? Elektra Lopez looked amazing. I don't know what's going on with Lola Vice, but it seems like she didn't understand the assignment when she came out there with her gear, because her gear was kind of matching to Elektra, but she had the purple and stuff in hers. And then when you look at her kick pads, she had the teal and the pink on that comes with her regular gear. And I was just like, all right, she irritates my soul. I don't like Lola. Um, They didn't win. Tatum pushed Lyra out the way, took a spinning heel kick from Lola Vice, and laid down, knocked out on Elektra, and ended up getting the pin. So Lyra and Tatum won, but the craziest shit was that Tatum came out there in full on Lyra gear. Okay, she had Lyra's gear on, her feathers, had her hair done like Lyra. Child, she damn near looked better than she did in her own gear, okay? Tatum tore her ass up with that gear. Tatum tore her ass up. She ate her ass up in her own gear. I would have been mad as hell. No, this bitch did not come out here and upstage me. No, you didn't. How dare you? But Tatum is a treasure because she funny. And she was cutting up. Okay. Tatum was out there tearing holes up. She had Lyra's move set down, the gear, the hair. She did it all, baby. That hair for crazy, but she good entertainment. She is good entertainment. Elektra is gonna pair well with Santos and the Latin Wolves when it happens. If Elektra can step her coochie up when it comes to her look and how she presents herself, yeah, she's done it somewhat in NXT. But going with Santos has a certain way of moving and presenting himself. And in terms of Elektra, ring-wise, Elektra is fine. Character-wise, she is okay. But her presentation of her character as a heel, it doesn't work out in her favor, at least in my opinion, because everybody else be set. Everybody else look the part. They move, they walk, they talk. She come in, she dressed like somebody grandma. You be like, girl, you just don't get it. It's okay. It's okay, girl. I can't stand them builder Latina assholes. I don't like Lola. Elektra, I feel like just need to be on her own. And I feel like a face turn would make people really like Elektra. She would work as a face, but she gotta be able to manipulate it so it works out in her favor. But Lola is boring. There is nothing about Lola that is redeemable. I don't care what nobody says. There's nothing about her that screams fucking superstar to me. She is boring on the microphone. She could barely talk. Nothing she says is believable. I'm sorry. She is a basic ass bitch, and I don't like her. I don't. I can't stand it. He said, nope, not my man. Smoking that crack thing is so Raquel, dad call you, baby. Oh, wait, no, he talking about the game. Raquel would fit best with them. You know what? Raquel might not be bad. She might not be bad. What's weird about Elektra is everything she's been a part of has been for her directly. Has never been for her directly. Well, I mean, she was a part of Legado del Fantasma because they needed a woman. They needed a woman to be able to cancel out B-Fan. She was a part of Lola to push Lola up, to get Lola over. As far as I'm concerned, that tag, I wouldn't have given Lola no damn tag, nothing. She wouldn't have got shit from me. Tacky asshole. She tacky. I don't care what nobody say. I literally forgot Lola won the tournament. You gonna forget again when she lose and don't win the championship because of it. Now, because Cora went down, they just might pull the trigger on Lola and let her steal that championship. They just might. But if Electra's a real bitch, she'll cost her that opportunity and take it from her. I damn sure would. You ain't finna get no championship out of me. Oh, raggedy bitch. You ain't getting nothing from me, baby. Let me get rid of the rest of these info cards. Now, there was some matches that happened. Ridge Holland got beat down after his match with Joe Coffey. He beat Joe Coffey, but Gallus decided to attack, and they thought somebody was going to come out and help him, but nobody came out there. It was radio silence, and they basically are leaning to the fact that nobody wants Ridge Holland around because they feel like that he is unsafe. They are leaning into this. I don't understand why, per se, but they are. That's what I'm saying. Like, she was a side character for LDF and a side character for Lola. Quite frankly, Lola was a side character for her, if we being fair, because Lola rarely talked. Electra was doing most of the talking when they was a legit tag team. Lola didn't say nothing. Now, her being paired with her was for Lola's benefit, but Lola didn't have no fucking chops. Because Lola can't really handle being at the forefront because her ring skills and mic work aren't up to par. So Electra is literally just her buffer. Well, she ain't her buffer no more. Them hoes got to fighting today. That team is over. It's over. Over. It's over. Lola ain't do nothing but shake her hips. Period. Tell them, Nicole. They don't know. Boring as fuck. Tell them again. Cheap seats. They didn't hear it. You okay, babe? Finna get in the shower? Cheap seats, babes. They didn't hear it in the cheap seats. They didn't hear it. So I don't know what they're gonna do with Ridge, but Dijak had a match with Bear Hill today. Bear Hill scared the shit out of me when he came out there because he was doing his war cry. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because I didn't notice that he had came out. I saw him beat. I saw the drum beating, but I had the TV on mute, and then I unmuted it. And oh my God, he scared the hell out of me screaming. But anyways, it was Dijak and Bear Hill. They did pretty good in the match. And then after the match was over, Dijak attacked Bear Hill and left him in the middle. Well, Dijak tried to cheat. He kind of did cheat. Joe Gacy was out there. Joe Gacy cracked me the hell up. Joe Gacy was out there with an old WWF jacket on. They said that nigga smelled like mothballs. Crying. Joe Gacy headbutted the shit out of Dijak. And after the match was over, Joe Gacy attacked Dijak. They ended up fighting all the way in the back. Now, as Bear Hill was sitting there, contemplating his loss, Lexus King comes in and attacks the man from behind. So Lexus King yells at him, slaps him multiple times, and tells him he cost him his opportunity at a title, and don't you ever do that again. And left Bear Hill in the middle of the ring, humiliated with a loss. Not only that, but also with being attacked from behind. It was very embarrassing. It was very emasculating. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. What else did we see today? That was it, right? As far as matches, because the last 30 minutes of the show was the women. Okay, so we started off this show talking about the girlies. All right, now in the beginning of the show, Jakara, Stevie, the really hype girl, the little cheerleader bouncing girl, her, I don't know her name. Some of y'all might know her name, but Jakara, Stevie, the real bouncing girl right there, they got eliminated. Gigi, Blair, Carmen, Adriana, Jada, they ended up getting eliminated. Jada and Adriana are fighting because Out the Mud and the family got a little feud that's about to go on. Okay, which is smart. They smart in how they did it, okay? She said she sucks. Did y'all hear it? Period. Tell him, Nicole. Tell him. Tell him. He scared me. He did. Yeah. It was a little jarring, but I'm like, if I could listen to a haka, I could listen to his war cry. It's okay. She can barely shake her hips. Yeah, it's always real tight. It's always real tight. It's so stiff when she does it. I always wonder what mothballs smell like. Like old people, minus the piss, not sadness. Brinley, is that her name? The girl that's real smiling and hyphy all the time. Her, yeah. So then after we lost them girls, we lost Ariana Grace. We ended up losing Thea Hale because she was doing too much. Lola eliminated Electra, and then one of them eliminated Lola, and Lola and Electra started fighting it out. So it came down to Tatum was also eliminated. Okay, so it came down to Roxanne, Lash, fuck ass Kiana, that cat lady looking bitch, Fallon, and Kaylani. All right. Now, that cat lady bitch got eliminated. She was out. So we had Roxanne, Fallon, Kaylani, and we had Lash and Ariana Grace. Ariana Grace got kicked out. Lash got eliminated. And that they thought Kaylani was eliminated, but she wasn't. So it was Roxanne, Fallon, Kaylani, and who was the fourth? It was fuck ass Kiana. That's who it was. Those was your final four. And in the final four, that made it a fatal four-way. Okay. So the last four girls competed. Izzy's ass stayed out there with fuck ass Kiana instead of minding her cat lady business. She stayed out there. Now, for the most part, Kiana didn't need no help. Kiana was pretty much set on her own, which usually she is. I might give Kiana a lot of hell, but I never take away from that woman's abilities in the ring. She is one of the best from the class of superstars that Roxanne came in. Kiana was the most set from the very beginning, character and ring work wise. She was the best of that next in line program, or those crop of kids that came in. She was the best of that set next to Roxanne. She was already set, ready to go, great in ring work, and she did excellent in this match. Matter of fact, all four of those women were really solid. Fallon was good. Kaylani looked great. Hadn't seen Kaylani since the Iron Survivor Challenge, so it was nice to see her. And of course, Roxanne did exceptional. She always does. But it came down to these four women, and this was a traditional fatal four-way match, which means you had to win via pinfall, not by throwing people over the rope. So it was not an easy feat. It was back and forth, and these bitches was hitting the shit out of each other. They was not playing. Do you feel me? They was going in. All right. Ultimately, Roxanne was the one who picked up the win, and she is the one who will challenge Lyra Valkyria at NXT's Vengeance Day on February 4th. Now, me personally, like I said earlier, I wish that it was somebody like fuck ass Kiana who was doing it, because I like my faces to go up against a super heel. I just do. I like to have a clear cut, I hate you and you hate me type of situation. Roxanne seems to be on the brink of turning into a heel, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. She needs it. So, as far as I'm concerned, I don't have an issue with Roxanne. I'm fine with her. I love Roxanne as a wrestler and as a character, but I do feel like Kiana would have been a better fit for this particular match. I also would have preferred Fallon over Roxanne for this particular match. Not because I don't think, Roxanne can't do nothing with it, but mainly because Fallon is the one who has never been able to get on a pay per view and have her moment outside of tag team contingency. She has earned the right to be able to do that. The only other time she was on a pay per view or doing something on TV was when she was in the Iron Survivor Challenge and when her and Tiffany went at it at New Year's Evil. Fallon has been kind of pigeonholed into this little box, and then I need them to let her break free. I need them to let her be able to perform effectively because I know that she can. Okay, now there was another girl that was in this matchup because Cora is injured. Cora has suffered an ACL injury. She is going to be out for the next year, which has derailed everything that they probably had set for her with her return to NXT. Now they had the girl Maddie. If you've never seen Maddie debuted in NXT a couple years back. She also was wrestling in NWA Power. She was a part one half of a tag team in NWA Power. She replaced um Cora in this match, and she was one of the last ones in the match. She was a part of that. She was set to be. Well, she was the fifth in that fatal before that fatal 4-way. She eliminated Lash Legend. That's how Lash got eliminated, was through Ren. Now Ren was eliminated later by Kiana, I believe it was, and that's how they ended up having their fatal 4-way with Fallon, Kaylani, Kiana, and Roxanne. So it is what it is, y'all. Fuck ass Cora. Could not, Cora got injured, so Cora couldn't be the one to compete. Roxanne is the one who is going to move into NXT Vengeance Day with Lyra. More than likely, Roxanne's not going to get that title based off of the way Tatum has been protecting Lyra. And this may cause Roxanne to go over the edge, which I kind of like. So we don't know how it's going to play out, but it seems to be an interesting feat. But let me look at these comments. Kaylani or Jada deserve the shot. Well, Jada hasn't really been built up to get the shot. So as far as I'm concerned, having her lead out into OTM is a better place for her to be than for her to be a sacrificial lamb for Lyra Valkyria. That's not smart in my opinion. I can't stand Roxanne. Well, that's your personal opinion. Well, if you think about it, Cora was supposed to win it, but she got injured. So who's next up similar to Cora? Roxanne. I don't know if I think about it in that capacity. If you're gonna go with a heel that could actually best Lyra and match her bar for bar move, then Roxanne would not be the person that I would consider you go with. The person you go with is your next best heel, which is Kiana. She's the best one you got on the roster at this moment in terms of her wrestling capability, her ability as a character. It would work fine bouncing off of Lyra. And she also got Izzy by her side, which she could be a really great asset in terms of her being a heel and keeping her. They could steal this title from Lyra, give Lyra another shot at maintaining of getting it back. She doesn't, and Kiana could go on to do what Cora was gonna do instead of doubling back to Roxanne. That makes no sense to me. By your logic, it makes no sense. I knew once Cora got injured, Roxanne would become what Cora was gonna be. What? Okay, so let's talk about this. First of all, Roxanne was already on the verge of going to be a heel. This is not new news. You've been watching it, so you're aware Roxanne has been going down that dark rabbit hole. This is not like it was an abrupt thing where it was just like, oh, Cora's injured, got to turn Roxanne. That's not how that works. Roxanne was already turning heel. It was slower. Now that heel work might come a little faster than they wanted it to, but they didn't have to go that route. If we're going by your logic, by what you're talking about, the most logical person to go with for Lyra at NXT Vengeance Day would have been Kiana. You don't have to do a lot of work to build up animosity between them. You could have did that just by having. Thank you. Think you filled it up enough? You could have did that just by having Kiana go up against have Kiana have a match, or you could have had a match between Roxanne, not Roxanne, but you could have had a match between Izzy and Lyra today. But they were going with, finishing up between Lola and Elektra. Could have had a match between Izzy and Lyra, let them fight it out, and have Kiana attack her. Kiana could have attacked or in the parking lot. It would have been a simple way to build up a feud between them. It would not have been hard. With Tora going down, it's not hard for them to put somebody else up in her place. It would have worked out easily if they had chose somebody else. Roxanne is a logical place for you to go. She's an easy way to pad Lyra's resume, but she's not the interchangeable part of Cora. They're two sides of the same coin, but they're not the same person. So on that front, I disagree with you. All right. So they gave us the Dusty Classic winners of the past. I think Nicole was the one who was talking about this the last time we talked about it. But Finn Balor and Samoa Joe won it in 2015. The Authors of Pain won it in 2016. Undisputed Era won it in 2018. Aleister Black and Ricochet won it in 2019. The Bruiserweights won it in 2020. MSK won it in 2021, and the Creed brothers won it in 2022. Let me see if there is a. Oh, they didn't put up 2023's. Why? Did they have it last year? Who won a Dusty Classic last year? Did they have it? Mm, they didn't have it last year, did they? It looks like they didn't have it last year. Nope. They did not have it last year. That's crazy. I thought they had it last year. Huh. Anywho, these are the past winners of the Dusty Classic. And this year, it's going to come down to these four goons. The Creeds won in 2022, not in 2023. It's right here on the screen. There you go. They didn't have a classic last year. I thought they did, but they didn't. So we'll see who's going to win the classic this year. That is it, ladies and gents. That's all I got for you. I've got no more. Tomorrow, we're going to do Freestyle Wednesday like we always do. I will try my best to get started on time. You all, please make sure you come back into the chat, okay? Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Please do not forget. Make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me on my socials. They are all running at the bottom banner to let you guys know where you can donate if you want to donate to help the show out. You can always be a part of the membership programs as well if you want to. And of course, you can always, always, always support me by subscribing and following the channel. Or you can support me by following me on Instagram. Either works. With all that being said, thank you so much for listening. Okay, go listen and follow to my folk. We Love Wrestling, AT2, Marks with Mikes, and Get Your Podcast. Okay, Down for the Count's getting ready to have their first episode of the year up. It was a pretty cool episode, always. And of course, Culture Cast, Matt Ritter, Smacking It Raw podcast, and Know the Ropes podcast. And of course, my own personal podcast where we talk about music and pop culture. Y'all make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe. Have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow.